Hey guys, buddy Vastro here. Forgot to put my mic down. So, today we are going to be covering the Link Joker deck build for Deletors. I've always been a massive fan of Deletors. I played them a lot in Premium. So, of course, I built them in Standard as well. I feel like they could be better. I feel like they're lacking to a degree, but still. I'm sure they'll get better in the future. So, this is my build, as always, with all my deck lists. These are what I like to play, what I like to run. If you have any suggestions, any changes, or whatever you would like to say, leave it down in the comments below. I'm always happy to hear what you guys think. And I would love to hear any suggestions. You know, so I'm always looking to improve the deck. Maybe I've overlooked a card, you know. So, we'll dive straight into that in a minute. But like it says, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and it really helps me out. Keeps you up to date. Helps me grow the channel. You know. So, let's dive straight into the deck. Okay, so, Link Joker, Deletors. If you don't know what Deletors are, they're an archetype of the Link Jokers who focus all about deleting your opponent's Vanguard, which is flipping their Vanguard face down, putting its attack to 0, no abilities. It stays face down till the end of your opponent's next turn. They can ride over it, but there is a few new cards in the deck that prevents that, makes it a bit more consistent to a degree. But the deck is still a bit, I don't know, underwhelming compared to some of the others out there. Fun, don't get me wrong, it is fun, but not as good as I would like it to be. So, to start off, we have Sprout, Deletor, Lucci, who is this guy. Harder to see because he's a foil one. Foil. I got lucky enough to get this guy out of my starter deck when I was building the deck, so happy with this. Standard, you know. To be fair, any Link Joker starting Vanguard counts, so you could use the other ones, but it makes more sense to use the Deletor one. For our grade 0s, we have 4 copies of Blink Messiah, which is the critical 30k Sentinel. We run this because the deck is so aggressive that you don't want to be ditching cards for the perfect guard, and you just want to run as many criticals as you can. From like, we've got 4 of him. We run 4 copies of Pulse Monk of the Quaking Foot, just again another critical, and 4 copies of Axino Dragon, more crits. So we run 12 crits in the deck, just hyper aggressive. That's all you really need, and 4 heals. Lady Healer of the Torn World. That's it. There's not really too much to say about the grade 0s. It's hyper aggressive. I definitely recommend running the 12 criticals. If you disagree, let me know why, but that's how I like to run. I just like to go full ham with the crits and, you know, hope for the best. So for our grade 1s, we have Ill Fate Deletor Drown, 4 copies of. Now Drown, what he does is, when your opponent's Vanguard is deleted, put this card into your soul, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and bind it face down. If you have no face up cards in your damage zone, counter charge 1. So, you know, if you've used up all your damage for counter blast, or maybe you've only got 1 and you've already used it, when you delete your Vanguard, your opponent's Vanguard with your grade 3, as long as he's on the board, he goes into soul, binds one of their cards, and counter charges 1. Honestly, the counter charge is just a bonus. You really want him for the fact that he's binding one of their cards on delete. Yeah, it's just profit for you. Clearing their board while deleting the Vanguard. Next we have 4 copies of Enduring Deletor Ziguraro. It's like, every time I do these videos, I keep slaughtering the names. I am so sorry. This guy. Focus in. When retired from R, bind 2 grade 0s from your drop zone and call it to R rested. So that may not seem very good, but when we get to the grade 2s, you'll understand why. It combos really well with Given, who's, like I said, we'll get to him. So we get 4 copies of him. We have 4 copies of Higher Deletor Farone, this guy, who, by the way, used to be the Stride Assist in the premium format. And what he does is when he's in the drop zone, when your opponent's Vanguard is deleted, you may call this card to R. So if you get 1 in the drop zone, you delete the Vanguard, call him out. If you get 4 in the drop zone by chance and you delete your Vanguard, call all 4 out. Fills the field. Replenishes your resources, because there's quite a few cards in here, like again as we get to it, given retires your rear guards for restanding your Vanguard, so this helps keep your field replenished for, you know, those abilities. And lastly, we run 3 copies of Lady Battler of the White Dwarf, which is your standard grade 3 searcher for Line Joker. We only run 3 copies because the deck's a little tight for space. Because again, all these other cards that set up your plays, they take priority, so you know, 3 copies is all we can fit. All she does is during your turn, if you have a face down card in any player's bind zone or circle, gains 5k. So when you bind your opponent's cards in Deletor, they get bound face down. So she will 90% of the time have the 5k boost, so she will almost always be a 13k booster, which is just amazing. And the fact that she searches grade 3s, yeah, is just a bonus. On to the grade 3 search ability, when placed from hand, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reel a grade 3 among them, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, put a card, if you put a card from in your hand, send the card to discard. It's again standard grade 3 searchers, every clan has one. So that's the grade 1s, you know, nothing too fantastic there, it's really just resource management for your other abilities. Moving on to grade 2, we run 4 copies of Lie Down Deletor Given, which is the one I mentioned. Now, what he does is, at the end of the battle that it attacked, if your opponent's Vanguard is deleted, put a total of 6 cards from your hand and rear guards into the drop zone, stand your Vanguard, and it gets -1 drive until the end of the turn. So essentially, it's the idea is you want your opponent's Vanguard deleted, so it's tiny, it's got no power, there's nothing it can do. You want to swing with your Vanguard, swing with your other rear guard, then swing with him. He swings, attack, does all the attack stuff, and that, and at the end of the battle, get rid of the cards. But because you have cards such as where is it? Oh, something to say that. I messed myself up, man. Sorry. Because you have cards like Enduring Deletor Zegur, if you pay his cost, Givens, with him, you can get rid of grade 0s from your drop zone, pull him back out. Yeah. Get more bodies back in the board so you can do it again next turn if you want. Keep in mind as well, you can do it from field or hand, so you can ditch these, or if they're already in the drop zone, when you delete, you can pull them out so you get resources for this. There's a lot of resource management to make sure you have the right number of cards to do it effectively, because if you don't, you'll end up with no cards, no defense, and if you don't kill them when it comes to your turn to defend, you will get humped. So yeah, be careful. So you've got him. You have 4 copies of Straight Deletor Guy. 4 copies of him. Now what he does is, on Vanguard or Rearguard, when it attacks hits a Vanguard, counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand, and when your opponent would normal ride in the next ride phase, he or she cannot ride unless he or she discards a card from his or her hand. So what this does is, you can do it early game when you know they're going to ride. If it hits, you counterblast 1, it forces them to ride a card and discard a card, so you're minusing them. But what it's really good for is, see late game, once you delete them, most people's ways to get around the deleted Vanguard is to just ride another Vanguard over the top of them, which is normally fine. But if you use him, not only are they having to ride again when normally they might not want to do that, they're also having to minus a card to do so. So again, adds that bit of pressure. They'll not want it to hit, but with a deleted Vanguard, that's at least a 10 to block him. So yeah, he's good. And lastly, for grade 2s, we have Swift Deletor Gale, Gilly. When placed, if you have more rear guards than your opponent, this gains 4k until the end of the turn, so it can be potentially 14k when he's attacking. And Vanguard or rear guard, when an attack hits a Vanguard, counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and bind it face down. If you cannot bind a rear guard, draw a card. So if your opponent has no rear guards on board and this hits, you draw a card. That's essentially what it's saying. So again, this is another card that puts your opponent in a position going, do I want this to hit and him to not only deal me a damage but plus, or do I want to block it, and if the Vanguard's deleted, that's a potential 15 to block at least, you know, if he's got his power up. So the deck does put a lot of aggression on, a lot of pressure, hence why we run so many criticals. And lastly, for our grade 3s, we have 4 copies of Screening Deletor Yadoga, which is this guy. What he does is, when placed, counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand, delete your opponent's Vanguard. Do keep in mind this is when placed, so if you see any more of him in your hand, you really want to hold on to him, because placed, delete, done. If you want to delete again, you need to place another one to delete again. Second ability is, when placed, Soul Blast 1, your opponent cannot turn deleted cards face up during his or her next end phase. This ability only works on rearguard. Now, what that basically means is, if you delete your opponent's Vanguard and they don't manage to ride, instead of at the end of the turn they get to flip back up, this means they are deleted for an additional turn on your turn. Which, again, the whole idea is you can flip up at the end of your turn, so it would be deleted all the way through to the end of their next turn. So, really good. And lastly, we have 2 copies of Waving Deletor Greedhole. Now, this card is the only card in the deck that I've really been debating about. I've run 2 copies of him, but I'm unsure whether to run him or the other grade 3 from the older sets, whose ability is Counterblast 2, delete your opponent's Vanguard. The reason being is, this guy, when your opponent's when he's in Vanguard, your opponent's rear guards can't move circles, so they can't move them around. It's not really a big deal. But when placed, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, bind it face down. If you rode from a grade 3, delete your opponent's Vanguard. This unit gains 1 critical until the end of the turn. So for him to delete your opponent's Vanguard, he needs to ride over a grade 3. Yes, he gains a critical and stuff, and he binds things, but he needs to ride over a grade 3. Whereas the reason I'm debating the other one is just a straightforward Counterblast 2, delete the Vanguard, which is a far more consistent. So this might get swapped out for the other one to test. I've not had a chance to test them out yet. So this is how it is currently, but like I said, maybe change him. If any of you have already tried that, let me know how it's been going for you. I'm really curious to find out, because like I said, I'm finding this to be a bit because if I delete the Vanguard and I don't see another grade 3 or such, and I don't get to delete them again, it's kind of going against what the deck does. So, you know, take that as you will. As far as force markers go, we like to use force 2, because since their Vanguard's deleted, they are going to be struggling to defend against attacks. So having a rear guard with an extra crit on it, potentially 2 extra crits if you hit one of your triggers, is really aggressive against them, because they're having to drop at least 10-20k just to guard it, because their Vanguard's at 0. So yeah, that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for joining. I'll catch you guys later. Well, shit. Should I just set fire at the house? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Auto save's not on! No!